Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kaylee and if you're new, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Today we are going to be doing how to boss drama school auditions. So these are going to be my 5 top tips and I'll explain them a little bit. Obviously there are lots of factors. You might want different people that year, they might already have a full class for the class they want you in, they might put you on a foundation course. So there are lots of different factors, but these are just going to be my top 5 tips for how to get into drama school and how to boss your drama school auditions. So my experience with drama school auditions, if you're new to my channel, if not, then thank you for coming back. I have posted several videos about drama school auditions. I will link them all down below. I've done my drama school audition stories, I've done weekly vlogs about drama school, I've done Q&As, I've done being rejected from drama school auditions, I've done ranking drama schools based on their auditions. So if you haven't checked any of those out, I will link them down below for you so you can go and look at them just for a bit more information about my audition stories. But a quick recap is that I auditioned for 2 years. The first year I auditioned at 3 schools, the second year I auditioned at 9 schools and I got 2 places in my second year, and I'm currently in my final year at East 15 Acting School in Essex, and that is me. So I'm going to be going out into the industry this year, graduating and, you know, being a professional. How scary. So these are my 5 top tips that I tried to implement as time went on. I realised I wasn't doing all of these things, and by my final 2 auditions I feel like I was doing these things. My final 2 auditions were the 2 schools I got into, so I feel like over the time I really progressed, and it was the 2 final schools that I got into after learning about how auditions worked and what I was maybe not doing right in the previous ones. So hopefully these tips help. Let me know if you're doing any drama school auditions, let me know if you want any more advice, let me know anything. If you get in, well done, I'm so excited for you as well. My DMs are always open about drama school, anything, questions, or you can comment down below and I will be happy to help. My first main tip is preparation. Preparation is key for drama school auditions. You really need to be prepared for anything. Things come up in the audition that you won't expect, so being prepared for anything means just be very open to what might happen in the audition. You need to have everything in your back pocket just in case. So the main tips for being prepared that I would give you are: make sure you know your monologues like the back of your hand. I had an awful experience where I was actually saying a word wrong in my monologue because I just thought I was saying it right, and it got to the audition and I stumbled on that word and it just showed that I didn't know that word. So that was my first ever drama school audition. So don't do that. Make sure you know your monologues so well that you could say them as any object, you could say them in any mood, you could say them being dragged around the room. Things like that do happen at drama school auditions, and so you have to be prepared to be thrown off and still remember what you're doing. You have to remember your lines, your character, your objectives, all of that stuff whilst things are being thrown at you constantly. So really know your monologues, and as well as knowing the lines and what you're saying and who you are and what you're doing, make sure you know the play. Make sure you've read the full play. If you can watch any film versions of it or live versions, go and see them. Make sure you are fully aware of everything that goes on in the world of that monologue. They might ask you a question about it, and if you don't know, you just look really unprepared and it looks like you don't really care. So make sure you have all the information you could possibly get asked ready to answer. Another thing for preparation is making sure, I mean, some people might disagree with me on this, but I personally think this, all of these are my own opinions, making sure you have extra monologues. Some drama schools have a list of specific monologues they want you to pick from. Some drama schools are very much, it's a free-for-all, pick from just the Elizabethan or classical and modern contemporary. So have the ones that they ask you for. If they ask you for 1 of each, have 2 of each, because you never know, you might be sat there and 5 other people in the audition with you there might do the monologue you had prepared and that you were going to do, and you think, okay, actually maybe I should do my backup because they've seen this 5 times already. Or you never know, they might say to you, actually I don't like this one, do you have another one that you can do instead? And if you come with, yes I do, I've got another one and it's just as good and you've put just as much work into it, they're going to think, this person's serious about what they're doing here. This person wants to get into drama school. So that is one of my top tips. I would highly recommend having a few extra monologues prepared. I think in my second year I had 5 or 6 monologues that I could pick at and choose different ones for different auditions based on how I felt that day, what that school wanted. Have a little pool of monologues that you can pick from, maybe about 5 or 6 depending on which schools you're auditioning for. Another thing that comes along with preparation is preparing interview questions, or possible interview questions, and practicing answering them to yourself, or if you've got someone at home or someone at school that you can practice with. Just getting you used to being in an interview environment, because I mean, you don't really do many interviews before the age that you'll be applying. Well, depends if you're applying when you're 18 or not. Depends. I hadn't really done any interviews before going to drama school, other than interviews within my school for sort of like leadership roles. So this was something quite new to me, and so I wanted to make sure I was super prepared in my first year especially. By my second year I'd had a job and stuff, so I'd been to like professional interviews, but in my first year I was like, I'm scared, what if they ask me something and I don't know? So I sat down and thought about all different questions that they might ask me. I went online, I think, and researched what other people's experiences were, and basically just came up with a whole document of questions, and then practiced answering them and writing sort of bullet points of how I would answer them, just to keep it fresh. I'm a very sort of revision academic kind of person, so for me this was really helpful, but for some people just saying it out loud might be helpful. So I'll do some example questions that I remember. I did things like, what's your favourite film that you've seen in the past year, maybe, something like that. What's your favourite play you've ever seen live? What's your favourite play you've ever read? Why do you want to go to this specific drama school? What training have you done so far? Where do you want to be in 10 years time? Honestly, just write as many questions as you can think of, because you can never be too prepared, and hopefully that tip helps some of you, because the interview was probably the bit I was most scared for, because I just, you know, it's the fear of the unknown. You have no idea what they're going to ask you, so just make sure you've got answers for most things. And obviously they could completely catch you off guard with something you don't know about, but just be honest and tell them, oh, I'm sorry, I don't actually know, or I haven't seen that film, or I haven't seen that play, if they ask you something specific. Don't be afraid to say no, I don't know about it. And lastly, for preparation, is make sure you research the specific school. Make sure you research their alumni, see if they're going in the sort of direction you want to be going in, the history of the school, who teaches there, what the actual syllabus of the courses that you're applying for, audition requirements I've already said. Make sure you know before going to each school what's specific about that school, because if you go and just say, I want to get into drama school, or I want to get into musical theatre school, or something like that, then it's not specific to that school, and they'll think, oh, they just want to get in anywhere. They're not really wanting us. So make sure you sell to them why you want that school. So having as much information as possible about why that school will help you in the interview and audition, because they might just say, oh, why do you want to come to RADA? And if you say, oh, I don't know, I just heard of RADA, no, you need to think of something. I mean, I didn't get into RADA, so don't worry. Don't worry if you don't get into RADA. To be fair, I'm not sure RADA's all the hype that it used to be. Anyway, moving on swiftly. My second piece of advice for bossing your drama school auditions is wearing something that you feel comfortable in. This is something that I didn't do until probably my last 4 auditions maybe. I thought I had to go in wearing black leggings and a black top, the same as all my like drama lessons and drama clubs and things. I knew that if I was going to go to drama school, I'd be wearing black leggings or black trousers or something with a leotard or a black top or a black jumper, because that is what most schools require you to wear in lessons. So I just turn up to all my auditions like that. And then I went to a few and I was like, some people aren't wearing just all black here. And then I started noticing who was getting through was not wearing just blacks. They were wearing things that showed their personality. So in my final few auditions, I started wearing sort of normal clothes that were still movable, still comfortable. I could still act in them. They weren't distracting, they weren't noisy, they weren't too extreme, but they still showed me and I still felt comfortable in them. And that made so much difference. I was way more relaxed in the auditions and speaking to other auditionees like beforehand and stuff, and it just made so much difference. I ended up wearing, well, at my East 15 audition, I think it was, I was wearing like some pink corduroy jeans, a black top and an oversized denim shirt, and that outfit got me into East 15. No, the outfit didn't, but I think the outfit made me feel so relaxed and comfortable that in the audition room I just felt like I was sort of chilling, whereas in my black leggings and black top it was always just like acting, and I probably looked like such a blank canvas, which sometimes helps, but they want to see your personality, they want to know who you are, and they don't want you to feel uncomfortable. So wear something that you feel so yourself and so comfortable in, and I promise you it will make so much difference. Unless they ask you to wear blacks, which some drama schools might, but I don't know about that. I never got asked to wear them, I just chose to, but it depends on the school. I know that if you're auditioning for Musical Theatre, you might have to wear leotards and stuff. So my next tip is something that I did before and after auditions, and that is making notes about the audition. So make notes about each school and what their requirements are, so that you're ready before, like a week before, you've got everything ready and you know you're on track. And then after the audition, I would highly recommend writing down your experience. So what you did in the audition, how you think it went, the names of any tutors that you remember, the names of any people that you remember, and sort of just journal what you did. I didn't do this, I'm not saying I did this for all of them. I wrote little notes here and there, and I can remember quite a lot. I've got a good memory, thank the Lord. But yeah, I think remembering what happened on the day and really reflecting on it to know what you did and what you could do to improve will help you for the rest of your auditions that year, and also the auditions in the future. If you go back to a school a year later and you remember, oh okay, when I was at that school, I can go to my file, I've got it written down, I did a movement workshop, I then had to sing a solo, I then did my 2 audition pieces, we then had interviews. If you remember that from the year before because you've got it written down and you've got your experiences written down, then you know next year when you're applying, you didn't get in last year, maybe you could tweak the way you did that a little bit. Yep, go and do it that year, bish bash bosh, I know what I'm doing. You'll feel way more confident because you know what you're going into, it's not scary anymore. And you can think about what you did last time, reflect on it and improve for the year after. So I didn't do that for all the schools, but I did that for a couple, and like I said, I can remember a lot of what I did in the audition room and a lot of what feedback I got, if I got any, and yeah, I remember the structure of them quite well. So another thing with that is obviously I'm very grateful that I can remember everything that happened, and I'm very grateful that I have all of the audition criteria that I wrote down before my auditions, because that is what I've referenced in my YouTube videos. So when I did my audition story one, I was looking at the pieces of paper to just jog my memory. Oh yeah, at that school I had to do 2 monologues and a song or something like that. So if you're thinking about ever doing a YouTube channel, or you ever want to sort of spread your knowledge of drama school auditions, then you'll have something to look back on and talk about that will remind you of what happened in that audition. My next tip, this is tip number 4 of how to boss your drama school auditions, and this one is to have energy. They do not want to see people who are tired and lazy. They want to know that you can go in and do a full working week and still be able to do extra work, extra rehearsals, and come in again on the Monday and be ready to go. To be in the acting industry and the performing industry, you need to be able to turn it on like that. If you're tired, you need to forget about it and get on stage and perform. So if you come to an audition and you show that you have a lack of energy and a lack of motivation and things like that, it's probably not going to help you. They want to know that you're ready for anything, you're determined, you're putting yourself into this audition and you're really showing them who you are. So my tips for how to do that would be to make sure you're getting loads of sleep for a few days before the audition. No nights out and things like that when you can go for nights out. Make sure you're sleeping well for, I'd say, a week before. Make sure you have substantial healthy meals for a couple of days before and on the morning. Drink loads of water, keep yourself hydrated, and then on the day, take snacks, take drinks, and maybe take way more than you think you need, because sometimes you go to an audition thinking, oh, it's only going to take an hour. You wait for 3 hours, then you're seen, then you get recalled, then you end up being there till 6 p.m. They're very spontaneous, so make sure you have snacks and drinks that are going to last you for a whole day, just in case you stay for way longer than you expect. Another thing alongside this is make sure you're healthy and fit as much as you can be, because this industry really does require you to be on your A game at all time. And if you can avoid having colds and things, then, you know, you're just gonna help your career. So keeping healthy and fit is really important. For me anyway, I really prioritize that in my career, and fitness especially, because I don't think everyone understands how hard it is to be on stage for like 3 hours, 8 times a week. Especially if you've got dance routines and songs alongside acting, then your fitness levels need to be there, and that is down to you. You've got to make sure you keep on top of that. For some people, they really don't want to do that sort of performing where there's high energy. I mean, I love physical theatre, so I know I've got to be fit for that. I love dance, so I know I've got to be fit for that. I love singing. I probably won't do much singing in my career, but if I do, I got to make sure I can sing and move at the same time. But for some people, that's really not a priority in their career, so I understand if they don't want to keep up with fitness and stuff, but it's good for your health anyway, and it's good for your life and your longevity, so who can complain really? I love it, so I enjoy doing it, so it's something that I do prioritise in my life and in my career. So yeah, people might disagree with me on that one, but my final tip for how to boss your drama school auditions, and that is to be yourself. I've mentioned this a little bit before, and I've mentioned this in so many videos, but you really do have to be yourself. I think in my first year of auditions, I was trying to act so much older and more mature than I was. Make sure you really are yourself. If you don't know something, don't be scared and pretend that you know it. Ask, be curious. They want to see people who are curious to learn. They don't want someone that thinks they're already, you know, Meryl Streep coming in and being amazing. They want people to have a spark that they can then help train to become Meryl Streep. And also being yourself, they might, or if you go in and you're acting something that's not you and not real, one, they will absolutely sense it. You can sense it in the room. Even watching other people's auditions when you're in group auditions, you can see who's putting on a front, and you can see who's trying to be extravagant and confident to try and stand out, and actually it doesn't work in their favour, and it makes them look like a bit of an idiot if I'm being honest. And then another reason to be yourself is because when you're going to an audition, there might be 20 places on that course. They might already have 19 people filled in, and if you go in acting different to who you really are, you might be acting like someone that's already on their list. Your genuine self could be the piece they're looking for to fill in that 20 people in a cohort. And if you're not acting yourself, you're being someone else, they might have seen 20 people like you. But if you're your actual self, you'll be individual, and you'll be special, and you'll be unique, and that could be the one thing they're looking for. you as a person to fill in that final spot. I really hope that makes sense. Being yourself is so important, and they want to make sure you're right for the school, and so your real self might be right for the school. So just be your real self and be unapologetically you, because if you do get into that school, they will be your teachers and they will get to know the real you anyway. And I think it's really important to make sure you're yourself whilst you're in your training, because it can really hinder you if you're not, and it can be really hard making connections with other people on your course or your teachers, because it's all about growing as a performer and as a person. So being yourself is so important, and it's my #1 tip, even though I saved it till the end. So that's the end of this video. I really hope it helped. These are my top 5 tips for bossing your drama school auditions, and I really hope they do help somebody out there, even if they just give you a bit of a confidence boost, or they make you go and research your play a bit harder. You can't put too much work into drama school auditions. I literally had it as like a part-time job. I was doing my part-time job, well, in my gap year, I was doing a part-time job. My other part-time job was 9 drama school auditions and making sure I was ready. And I would spend hours and hours researching, practicing monologues, practicing songs, and every little second you spend on preparing yourself is going to help you. So I really hope these tips help you. If they do, let me know. Please do let me know. If you want any more information about drama school auditions, don't forget to message me. Or if you have any video ideas that you want me to do with my knowledge of drama school auditions or drama school life, then let me know and I will be sure to do that for you. I'm thinking of doing a rejection video on how to deal with drama school rejections. So let me know if you want to see that, because I got rejected 10 times. So, you know, I'm pretty good at dealing with rejection. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful, insightful, anything. Just I hope it gave you something. And if you did enjoy it, it would mean so much to me if you could give it a thumbs up. My channel is slowly growing, and I think I've had my channel for 2 years now, which is crazy and I can't believe it. So thank you to everyone who's supporting it at the moment. It really does mean a lot to me. It's helping me get through lockdown. I hope it's helping you get through lockdown. And if you would like to stick around, please subscribe and join the growing family. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. The end.